I'm your host for Aging for Life. I am happy to tell you that this show is made possible by Natalia Tejeda, the producer, whose picture you can find on the website, agingforlife.org. It is my pleasure today to be talking with a couple of friends who have started an international organization called the Pass It On Network. My friends are Moira Allen, who is with us here live today from Paris, France. And whereas I think it's 11 o'clock at night, thank you, Moira, for staying up. And Jan Hively, who is with us from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Thank you for being with me, you guys.
Oh, we're delighted to be here. Thank you, Teresa.
Both of these women have been activists their entire lives and in different areas. Tell me about your organization.
It's just so difficult to know where to start. And I think the best place to start is when I met Jan Hively. I went to the first ever Positive Aging Conference in Florida in 2007. And Jan was running a workshop. I was coming up to that big 60 in my life and worried about retirement and what I was going to do. So I'd been onto the internet and I'd come across Howard Stone's organization, Too Young to Retire. And that's where I met Jan. And it was just a turning point in my life because Jan was older than I was. I was 60, and there was this absolutely vibrant woman, full of life, full of spunk. And I thought, I want to be like that. As one does at conferences, I went up to her with my little card, waited in the line because she'd attracted a lot of attention. And she eventually got round to me, and I gave her my card, and I said, I'm in Paris and I work with an occupational health organization. So if you're coming through, I can organize for you to talk to all our medical doctors. And then 9 months later, she phoned me or sent me a mail and said that she'd been invited by the Kober Foundation to Germany. And then, Jan, I think you can carry on from there.
I visited Moira in Paris. We obviously had so much in common. The next year, I went to a conference in Paris of International Association of Gerontology and Geriatrics, and every day as I was staying with Moira, I would come back and I would say, oh, it's really because everything was very academic and it was all done by professional professors, and there were other people there who were older adults who were interested in talking about what was going on for them and getting into the act, so to speak. But it wasn't happening. So Moira said, well, you remember that presentation that you gave in Florida that I heard that turned me on? She said, and you came up with this phrase that was, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. Well, that's us. And let's sit down and figure out what we're going to do here, some goals and how we're going to get to it and make a difference. So that was the start of it. We then partnered with World Cafe Europe, and that's where we got started with World Cafes.
Yeah, tell us what a World Cafe is.
World Cafe is a wonderful way of getting collective wisdom, working together with people. So instead of having messages coming from the top down, you have messages developing and evolving through the method of communication. So usually there are 4 people at a table, a series of questions, and you change tables. And as you go along, so the accumulated experience just emerges. And it's a very, very vital and wonderful way of communicating.
The Conference of Gerontologists, and it's 6,500 people. There was no ownership. You felt no ownership of the conversation at the conference as an older woman. And you felt older people should be driving this work from lived experience. So tell us what's the purpose of the Pass It On Network?
The system has to do with providing for the needs of older adults, of frail elderly people. That's what governments do. There are aging services, mostly health and social services. Now looking at it from a very different perspective. What are the strengths of older adults? How do we build on those strengths? How do we get our voices heard? How do we advocate for ourselves and others? Yeah. And that was our role. The World Cafes that we did in these 6 countries, bringing together civic leaders and older adults, saying, what does active aging mean to you? And what do we want to do with this? And we want to find more ways of having a voice. So it was that then that led us to the founding of the Pass It On Aging Network, which is simply a global peer learning network for positive aging advocates, doing something with older adults, organizing them, getting them together for create community, making sure that there are work opportunities, social security, economic security, making sure that they have access to lifelong learning, and combating ageism. And that's what we do. We connect those people and we find out what's new and we get them together and they create.
So that's really exciting. The problem with the gerontology conference was that, first of all, it was objectifying, and second of all, it was needs-based instead of strengths-based.
Right.
Right. And so you said, wait a minute, we're subjects here, not just objects. So this is about a decade ago now.
Right.
Right. Okay, fantastic. And so you guys said, we know we're vital, creative, older people, and we know that there are millions of people like us across the world, and these people need to be in touch.
Right. Exactly. This is a global phenomenon.
So tell me, what kind of organizations are part of the Pass It On Network? How do they find you, and then how do you connect them?
We're looking to put forward what people can do without stacks of money. The smallest thing. You can just smile at somebody. You can just say hello to somebody in your building. It doesn't have to be a huge, big project. So we're really looking for low-cost grassroots projects. And how do people find us? Well, now it's through word of mouth. And through being known more and more, Jan is known, like, as we say in French, the white wolf.
I love that, Jan. You're like a white wolf,
comme on dit en français.
So that's like, we say silver fox and you say white wolf.
Right, exactly.
I love that. That's great.
She has so many contacts, and you can say, I've got somebody. I'm going off to I don't know, to Japan, or yes, that was exactly an example. I went to Japan in 2016, and she said, "Oh, you must go to Hiroshima. I've got one of my previous mentees who's there, and she will take care of you," and so forth. So Jan has an incredible network around the world.
Moira is very, very well connected in everything related to the European Union. She also is very well connected in Africa because she comes from South Africa.
Oh,
and
okay.
We have done really very exciting things, and more is coming. But more and more, we're looking at the regions, the 5 United Nations regions in the world, and working through those regions so that they will then pick up tidbits, the innovations that we describe in our monthly newsletter, and direct people to our website, or just talk it up. And what's the most exciting thing is this is I have to tell you that we don't have any outside funding.
I was going to ask about your funding. Yeah.
Oh, basically we pay a pittance to our website person and for the website, and then we pay for our own travel unless we have the good fortune to be invited for someone else to pay for us, which I think has happened in some places. The most important point here is that anyone could do this. It's a global digital community, and that is what's so exciting. The internet has opened us up to the world. People can talk to each other, and that's also extremely important. It's not top down. Networking, like what you're doing, networking is flat. Everyone is as good as everyone else. They have as much to teach. They have as much to learn.
What you guys have done is amazing. I mean, it's wonderful that you've created this platform that connects people around the world to learn from each other about different ways to maximize all the opportunities around aging. It's really cool.
We got help from our partners, and we do have partner organizations, for example, encore.org, or people like Bill Thomas. You mentioned that you're a fan of Bill Thomas. Yeah. I've known Bill Thomas for many years. He and his wife, Jude, are fabulous people. What happens is that these are great people, and they have good ideas that then can be shared by other people anywhere, wherever they are.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
It's really exciting, and we're running out of time, but I want to say thank you so much for doing this. I think often professionals do see the aging population as a problem, and you guys are helping in a massive way internationally to flip that script and really show the incredible value that the aging population brings to the world. Hopefully, we can help save it. So thank you so much for your work.
Thank you. And I also need to tell you that Moira here is our international coordinator, and that she is the most charming, gracious person in the world. So anyone who wants to get in touch with us will hear from Moira, and boy, are they lucky. Just like we're lucky to be with you.
Thank you so, so much. I look forward to talking more as the years go by.
Very lucky.
All right. Take good care.